Okay, I know what this looks like. I know. But what if I told you this is going to be an oddly good ending? What's up, guys? 747 here. Welcome to Watch for the Plot. Subscribe, more content coming your way. So, funny little short story, or I guess short story in general. Up until the last video, Emergence, which check that out by the way, I was concerned about every video being monetized and making sure that when I put content out, it's just to make money. And I made that last video with Emergence. I'm like, oh, this is fun to just talk about and do, you know, and here we are. So the premise of this show is, imagine if you have an assassin that just sexually assaults people. That's literally it. There's nothing else around it, nothing else to it, nothing else under it. That's just what it is, straightforward. Now, there are a couple beat plots that I do find pretty funny that are interspersed with this series that is 2 episodes long, made in 1999, I believe, but you're not gonna get much else out of that. So we start off with Keisuke. That's the name of the man, and his job is what his title alludes to. We have the very first victim is a husband of a philanderous wife. Is that the term, right? Philanderous? Yes. That is a term. So, and this red pill guy who looks like he would star in Night Shift Nurses, shout out to him. That's a throwback. Watch that video too. He calls man, and literally a second later, we see Keisuke in the mask. Looks like he's gonna be in the Marvel Rivals DLC, and he goes and does his thing. Now, his signature move is tight ropes, handcuffs, and a monologue. I find the monologue very weird since he, like I mentioned before, or haven't, since he is a PE teacher. If for some reason he just so happens to run into someone who is in that line of business, i.e. someone in the school, then him talking would give his entire game away. So the next victim is a high school student. Maybe there's a good reason why Keisuke was called on one of his students. So let's go ahead and see the reason here.
ごめんなさいね。おかげであの子も達夫に愛想が尽きたみたいで、これで組は安泰ですわ。
それは何よりで。
私とマサゼンの力で関東一の組にしてみせますわ。それでは。
Oh, so the mother of a Yakuza boss wanted her to marry one of her husband's disciples because she didn't trust her boyfriend. Why don't you just tell your daughter that? Or, you know, find another way besides this. This isn't even a final resort. This is not even a resort on the list. Like, you get other options. Maybe, you know, run the kid out of town or, you know. But getting your daughter, like, assaulted is not up there. I did not even think of that being possible. But you know what? That's why I'm not in Yakuza, because I'm not tough enough over there. So that's where Keisuke calls on the scene, and he's scoping the place, looking like, who scopes the place? Moon Knight or some shit? I have no fucking idea. His whole thing is just to go in there, get it done, go out, and then change Yuka's life for the rest of the episode. And that does work out. However, one thing goes wrong.
いかん。会長に進呈する菊一文字を忘れた。おい、引き返せ。
しかしそれでは。
いいから引き返すんだ。
お前さん、集会に遅れます。刀は後日お持ちしたらいかがですか？
バカ野郎！この俺が会長のめでてえ席に手ぶらで行けると思ってんのか。
They came back, and guess who was in the act? And Yuka's entire clan started just ganging up on Keisuke. For some reason, he's combat military trained and has all these gadgets. They haven't necessarily explained where he got all this training from and how he's able to combat those, but we just have to assume it's all true. And with that assumption, he just gets away from them, and he goes all the way out, and now he's officially versing who the mother wants her daughter to marry. And once they arrive and see it's been done and she's handcuffed, the mother's like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, how could this happen to you? And then sinisterly smiles at the camera. Now, is the Yakuza like this fucking insane? Because I don't know how anything goes on over there. Are they willing to do this shit? Because I feel like if they are, you know, maybe the cops are right. Maybe the cops are on to something, because this is kind of ridiculous. And another two-parter into this that the mother didn't really account for was Yuka's boyfriend came in and saw her getting assaulted and was so like shaken and frozen that her father's like, go kill this dude for your bitch, man. Go ahead. I know she's my daughter, but you need to help me kill this motherfucker. And he was just too scared to do anything, and her father ran him out of town. You know, like the thing they could have done before this whole assault thing coming up. So therefore, you didn't even have to do this. So my point earlier was right. You could have just scared the dude. It would have ran off. Whatever. So that happens, and come to find out that this clip happens.
貴様、 俺がやりに来ることを知っていたな。
姉さんが何か企んでいたことはうすうす感じていた。君のためには仕方がねえ。
それで貴様がユカと一緒になって組を作って寸法か。
俺は親分に惚れている。親分が望むならそいつに従う。
So like I mentioned before, this is the man that Yuka's mother wants to pair with her. And he just knew the whole thing was going on. So I assume that, yes, he was colluding with her mother to make sure this plan goes down, to make sure the clan continues on seamlessly no matter what, no matter the cost. And the plan works perfectly. He gets away scotch-free. And this is the final clip of the episode here.
この花捨てていいわね。
どうぞその花瓶を使ってください。まさかお嬢さんが見舞いに来てくれるなんて。綺麗な花ですね。
And things are happily ever after. The end. I guess their solution, problem solving way to get around this is to actually show that rape was the right answer every single time. No matter what you do, no matter what happens, rape is always the right answer. That's right, folks. You heard it here first. They did have this happen. So what I assumed that was they were trying to say, oh, he's gonna get caught, look at him, but it never comes up again. Him ever getting noticed never comes up. It's not even a thing they even mention at all, because he's so covert and clean, like he's like a fucking Black Ops agent or some shit. Like he will never get caught, even if hypothetically he was, I don't know, tight roping, Cirque du Soleiling someone in the air while she's fucking her, and then it's in front of a billboard on top of a skyscraper and nobody notices him. Hypothetically, if that does happen, he can just get away with it. So the next scene, right? So I don't know if this one is worse or not, but it's up there because it's family related. So we have a thief. Her name is Red Cat, aka Maki. Now, Maki has been known to just go crazy with just like Catwoman, bitch. She's basically Catwoman. And we have our boy Keisuke here to chase and hunt her down because Maki's father found out about her being the cat thief and wanted to shut it down.
盗みってのはやみつきになる。娘にゃ、マキにゃ俺と同じ鉄は踏ませたがね。だから花岡、おめに。上さんまさか。そうよ、おめの裏稼業の出番だ。
Now, again, we run into this situation here with the last episode. Is there another way to stop your daughter from being a criminal, an underground gem peddling syndicate? Yes, but according to this series maker, the solution again is rape. So Keisuke finds her and says, hey, your time is now. But this episode is longer than like 5 minutes, so Maki has to do some escape gymnastics, breaks out the window, flips out the door, runs on the roof, tries to punch him in. But she fell when Keisuke caught her and her uniform tore up. Now, I don't know how any of these hero gymnastics spandex super suits work, but if you slide on the floor, your whole chest material isn't supposed to pop off, is it? I mean, I know why it is, but it's not supposed to do that. So once she gets assaulted, his mission is complete, and now we're set to see Maki and her father walk into the sunset as a family, and Maki's no longer robbing high security jewelry stores ever again, even though she's really talented at doing it. Like she did a solo man job on a fucking laser trace glassware. This is all these jewels and shit. She had a fucking gadget like this Batman Arkham Asylum. She was good at it, right? It could have been her career. She was never being caught. All she knew how to do was rob this shit. Now she's with her father. I don't know what she's doing now, but now she's with her father. And I just, so it's so serious. I want to talk about this philosophy and psychology and etymology of this whole shit here, because the thing that confuses me is if Keisuke is making enough money off these hits, why is he still a PE teacher? Is it just a passion project? He just loves being a PE teacher, or is it flipped around? He's doing this pro bono because there is a sort of mentor relationship he has with another figure in this series whose name escapes me at the moment. But he sets up the hits, he gives him the equipment, you know, this and that, he writes everything off for him. They don't really explain their relationship. However, they don't explain how it got to the situation. They don't explain why they're doing it. They don't even explain the point of it. All we know is when people hit up that phone, it's time to get gone. And the weirdest part too too is that they're set up in like a legitimate office space. So what is their front? Is their front like being like therapists or psychologists or some shit? Cause like you can't just be posted up in an office saying, hey, I do hits for hire. And those hits are back shots. You can't do that. Overall, I'd say this series is pretty entertaining, oddly enough, and the punchlines they have are very on the nose. If anything, the jokes write themselves.
桃園学園3年一文字ゆかだ。つまりお前さんの教え子をレイプするわけだ。
なんだって。川村、俺はレイプマンだ。
バカ野郎、何しやがるんだ。兄さんなんか言ったかい。どうぞお先に。
This feels like one of the categories of So Bad Is Good for sure. It's definitely in that category. And there's a lot of typos in the captions and the subtitles, which I do find a bit enjoyable. That makes this show a bit more watchable than I originally thought it would be. One thing too that drew me to this entire series was watching a few comments. And they were saying stuff like, I need to hit this guy for a bitch I know in Brooklyn. Buddy, what could she have possibly done that you're gonna call a hitman on her like that? Other guys saying it's my favorite series. Other guys saying this is a hero. You know, like, I wanted to see what they were talking about. Because a lot of commenters in these series have no IQ whatsoever. And honestly, it's kind of enjoyable. Alright guys, I don't have an outro, but if I did, it wouldn't matter because no one makes it this far into the video. Good night.